Welcome back. I got to have a couple apologies here. First off, I'm a little sick right now, so my voice is not great, but I'm going to do my best for you guys. And I am also getting ready to go to the Royal Stadium right now. That's why I'm looking a little bit different than usual. But it's time for the Week 3 Power Rankings. After Week 3, it's for Week 4. I'm really excited. As you guys know, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is always a very, very close in the standings. There is one 0-3 team. But still, they're only 2 games out of first place. Everybody else is 2-1 or 1-2. Absolutely incredible. Just really excited about how competitive this league has become. And every week is so important. That's the one thing I love about this league. Almost like the SEC, fantasy football. So let's get rolling here. We're going to start out with number 12 for the second week in a row. We have Daniel Galley, the Hopkins Lymphoma, coming in at 0-3. They're only a game out, like I mentioned. They're 2 games out of the playoffs, only 1 game of a big mess of people. So not a bad place to be. They do need to probably get on track here pretty quick. But a couple guys I wanted to highlight for them. Adam Thielen, 2 touchdowns this week. Really fantastic for the Vikings. It looks like the Vikings offense might be just good enough to support 1 receiver. Diggs hasn't been great lately, but Thielen's still the guy for Kirk Cousins. And then DJ Chark. I don't think I mentioned him yet this year, but from the Jags, really becoming a good receiver for them. Not quite the wide receiver 1, I don't think. He's not anywhere close to that, but wide receiver 2 for sure. I think you could lock him in, ready to roll. I think he might get a start this week for Galley. At least number 11, the No Luck Ponies, 1-2, lost last week, moving down 1 spot from 10. Nace has had 2 pretty good performances, though. He had Brandon Cooks looked really good. He was over 100 yards. It looks like the Rams might be able to feed all their receivers this week. I feel really good about their matchup. And then Adam Vinatieri. Anytime a kicker scores over like 15, I love talking about him because you guys know how much I love kickers. Nace is a big Vinatieri guy, always has been. So a big week for him for Vinatieri. That leads us to number 10, the Scam Squad. Jackie getting his first loss, going up the undefeated ranks. There's no undefeated teams left. Him and I both lost. But Jackson is 2-1. He is right there. He's tied for first, just like with everybody else in the league. Mike Evans was fantastic for him. As you guys all know, a lot of people were giving up on Mike Evans early. Can't do that. Mike Evans is going to eat. And he had a good week. And then the Green Bay defense has become one of the best units in all of football. It's crazy if you're able to have this kind of defense linked up with Aaron Rodgers. It could be really scary for the Packers. Take us to number 9. 2 wins in a row for Adam. Goff, Hawk, and Lockett. That's tough to say. But he's got 2 in a row, up to 2-1 now, going up from the 11th spot to the 9th spot. Had 2 good performances. Keenan Allen was fantastic. He's a PPR machine. Had a fantastic game for the Chargers. And anytime that Keenan Allen is fully healthy, he's a wide receiver 1 locked in. Also, his namesake, once again, I know I talked about him last week, but Tyler Lockett had one of the best games of his career. Might even be the best game of his career. He looks fantastic with Russ Wilson, and I think he is locked in with the Seahawks. And if they're going to throw the ball more like they did this week, that's going to look really good for the pass catchers and Russell Wilson for the Seahawks. Jay Money staying consistent at number 8. He picked up his first win. He's up at 1-2 now. Cooper Kupp was fantastic. Cooper Kupp had a great game, great hookup with Goff. A lot of people were saying that he is the receiver to own in that Rams trio. It's tough to pick one, really. But he looked really good for the Rams. And then we got to talk about Demarcus Robinson. How good was he? Jay Money and I actually were able to go to the game together with Big Brian. A fantastic time had by all. Really appreciate Jay Money letting me come with him. And we saw Robinson in the flesh make that one-handed grab from Mahomes, and it was a beautiful sight to watch. I actually saw a thing on Twitter today that Mahomes said that his read was actually Watkins, and while he was throwing, he changed his mind to throw it to Robinson. Absolutely incredible. We know how good Mahomes is, but a fantastic catch by Robinson. And I think that there's a big season in store for both Robinson and Hardman. As long as Hill is out, those guys are going to be massive roles to that Chiefs offense. Coming in at number 7, big drop this week for Brett. He goes from 2 to 7. But that's just how close everything is, man. It was really close it was tough for me to keep him in front of people that had won this week. So it's tough. And as you guys noticed, it could be completely shaken up next week. But for this week, we got Run CMC at 7. He did lose. He has Christian McCaffrey I want to talk about because McCaffrey looks like he's still the focal point of the offense, even with Kyle Allen in there and no Cam Newton. So you'll love to see that. I have Christian. I have Cam in their league, which sucks. But I have McCaffrey in a couple leagues, and that's really good to see from the Panthers' O coordinator. And then Zach Ertz, expected a little bit bigger things from him. Decent game for him, but with all the pass catchers hurt and Philly, I thought a big game was coming for Ertz, and I'm sure Brett did as well. And tough loss for him was definitely catapulted by Ertz not doing what a lot of people thought that he was capable of this week. Leads us to number 6. That's myself. I had a big drop. I came from 3 to 6. I lost to Utah this week in the game of the week. I played like shit, scored 100 points, like 102 points. It was really bad. If I would have started Russ, I would have won. But I mean, we can't be going past. Back on that, Baker Mayfield was terrible again. But Austin Eckler, he is. I'm a little scared about it because I saw something today that Melvin Gordon is probably going to be coming back. So we'll see how his role possibly changes if Melvin Gordon does come back to the Chargers, or maybe they trade Gordon because they have a great thing in Eckler, and Eckler's an RB1 right now. And like I just mentioned a couple teams ago with the Seahawks, Russ Wilson was fantastic. Scored a 60-piece. Disappointed I had that on my bench, but he's getting a start this week, which probably means that he'll score 10 points and Mayfield will score 60. Okay, that's just how fantasy football goes. But Wilson will be getting a start for me this week. I'll take this to the number 5 team, dropping from 1 to 5. Insert team name here. Hunter is 1-2 now, the defending champ. Barkley. He's going to be out a while. It sucks. A lot of people spend a first, number 1 overall pick on him. A keeper, of course, for Hunter. So you hate to see that from a player. I remember I was actually at a bar whenever found out Barkley was hurt and he was on crutches. And somebody asked me, hey, what's hurt for Barkley? And I was like, it's definitely not his quads because those motherfuckers are tree trunks. So it is actually his ankles. You guys know those high ankle sprains are really tough. So we'll see what happens with Barkley. And then his guy, Mark Ingram. As you guys well know, Hunter is a big Ravens fan. Ingram was fantastic against the Chiefs. Just not quite enough for Hunter to pull down that victory. He's 1-2 going into week 4. Take this to the number 4 team. That's going to be Gase Ventura, Jet Detective. Utah's coming at 2-1, beat me last week, moving up 1 spot from 5 to 4. Tony Pollard was really great. Him and Zeke both had great games, but Pollard was fantastic. I don't know if you can really start both of them, but Pollard looked really good, and a lot of people were talking about him being an important handcuff, so Utah has that, and Pollard looked really good. Also, DJ Moore for the Panthers. He only had 1 catch, had a great touchdown, but you love to see that he did catch a touchdown with new quarterback Kyle Allen. I think Kyle Allen might be decent for the Panthers, and if he's looking Moore's way already for touchdowns, you got to think more of those are coming. The Mexi Narcos coming in at number 3. They got a big win. They're 2-1 as well, moving up from 6 to 3. Evan Ingram is a monster. He is a wide receiver playing tight end. He had a great touchdown run. I think he's going to be a top-notch tight end all year. And then Tom Brady. I know that a lot of people think he's the GOAT in quarterbacks. I think he's number 2, but a lot of people think he's number 1. No argument there from a lot of people's reasonings there. More of a preference thing for me. But Tom Beasley's had a great year. I think we need to talk about how great he is playing at 78 years old, really just slinging that rock around and doing a great job for the Mexican Narcos. Number 2 team, a big jump. SEC Network, Tori jumping from 7 to 2. Fantastic week. Whenever you score over 200 points like she did, right there in the standings. I had to play her this week. It's the first time we've ever played anything fantasy-wise, so big week. Both of us 2-1. But a big performance from the Bears D. Her living in Chicago now has a lot of Georgia Bulldogs on that defense. She loves the Bears defense, and they showed out on Monday night. So big time for them. And another Bulldog, Nick Chubb. He didn't quite get to 100 yards, but they were feeding him the rock. You got to love that. If you are a Chubb fan, the Browns offense will get it together, I promise you. But if they're getting Chubb the ball already, that's really exciting for what can come with him in that Browns offense. That leads us to number one team. If you've been waiting this long, you know who it is. It's Jordo moving from 4 to 1. Off in the Woods. Nobody wants to beat Off in the Woods. So Jordan's going to move into that number 1 spot. Had an absolute monster week this week. Whenever he scores a lot of points, he just goes crazy. Mahomes is a great piece for him. But the 2 rhyming guys, he had Hooper and Cooper. Both of them were awesome. Austin Hooper had a great week for the Falcons. He can be a tight end 1. It's just he's just a little inconsistent, but he was great this week. And then Amari Cooper, that Cowboys offense just keeps looking great. They have a great running game, like I mentioned, with Zeke and Pollard. And then Dak Prescott is looking like an early MVP candidate, and Cooper's the main reason why. So that's the top 12. We got Off in the Woods, SEC Network at 2, Mexi Narcos at 3, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective at 4. Insert team name here at 5, Kent Guard, Mike or OBJ at 6, Run CMC at 7, J Money at 8, Goff, Hawk, and Lockett at 9, Scam Squad at 10, No Luck Ponies at 11, and Hopkins Lymphoma at 12. As I promised last week, I was going to try to do the matchup of the week. For this week, it's actually going to be Run CMC versus insert team name here. Rematch of the finals between Brett and Hunter of last year. Both teams are 1-2. Got a little unlucky with that 1-2 start, but you don't want to move to 1-3. So we'll see who's able to get that win, move on to 2-2. Really excited about this week. I'll probably put this in a group chat a little bit, but I've had a couple people reach out to me about trading future draft picks because we do have those keepers now. So that's something, just keep an eye out. I'll probably start asking people about that. I don't have an issue with it, but I'm a commissioner of people, so we'll definitely talk about it, see what you guys are thinking. But that's all I got for now. Until next week, wish you all the best of luck. And this is Kamish signing off.